Hey squad, so today I want to talk to you about resupply strategy on the Pacific Crest Trail. So just to make this easier, we're going to go section by section by section, northbound. So if you're going southbound, just flip the strategy around and it should work basically fine. But most people go northbound, so we're going to go northbound. And this is based off what I did, what I saw, and what I saw other people doing. Alright, so your first section is Southern California, also known as the desert. So basically, it's really simple. Every town has a grocery store. Every town has a resupply for you. Every town has options. And a lot of these towns actually, I'd say all of them basically have an outfitter where you can get gear replacements if you need to too. But they all have grocery stores. It's really simple and stupid these. But yeah, other than that, that's pretty much as simple as it, and the hitches are really easy too. Everybody in Southern California knows what you're doing and will help you out. So the next section is the Sierras. Now the Sierras are complicated, I will give you that. Basically, they're complicated right off the bat because you go from Kennedy Meadows all the way to Mammoth Lakes without even crossing a road. Now you can push that, that's what I did. It's actually easier than I thought it was. I mean, it wasn't easy, but I thought I fully went on into the Sierras expecting I was gonna have to bail. But I made it, so yeah. But if you can't carry as much food, or if you do need to bail, you'll have to take a side trail over an additional pass and go down, and then to a trailhead, and then hopefully there's somebody there, or you arrange a shuttle to pick you up. I don't even know if they have shuttles to get into probably Bishop. So basically, Bishop is your main option if you need to do this more than once. There is also Lone Pine at the southern end. A lot of people actually do go into Lone Pine, but Bishop is the one that I'd say 95% of people go into that aren't obviously going straight through to Mammoth. And then after Mammoth Lakes, it does get a little easier. I mean, you still have 100 miles till North Kennedy, but I mean, you do have Truckee Meadows in Yosemite where you can either send a resupply package or bail out. But just so you're aware, they are redoing basically all of Ptolemy Meadows, so just be aware of that. I think it's going to take years, so whatever they're up to. And there's also, I don't know, a general store there. I mean, it wasn't open when I went through it, but hey. And then after North Kennedy, you're out of the high Sierras, so you basically get to Tahoe. I mean, you can basically do that in one push. I did it in one push, but if you don't want to, there is bailout points. I mean, there's not really any towns between those 2 points, but I mean, it's only 70 miles, I think, so, you know. All right, your next section is North California. North California is really simple to resupply, and you're basically back at desert level resupply. Every town has a grocery store. Not every town has an outfitter. I mean, some do, but a lot of them actually don't. So, but food-wise for your resupply, you're basically good. So you can get hitches relatively easy. I mean, I didn't really have any problem there. But yeah, so you're basically good. I would say the one sticking point is getting into Mount Shasta because that is on the interstate. So just be aware of that. There's also a bus, but I mean, I managed to get a hitch just by standing by the on-ramp. So, I mean, whatever works. But just so you're aware of that. All right, so you made it to Oregon. Oregon is a little complicated because whether or not you do the Oregon challenge or not, it decides how easy, complicated, logistically you're resupplying. So basically, I did the Oregon challenge, so I resupplied in Asheville Sisters, and I sent myself a box to Crater Lake, and literally that's it. But if you're not doing the Oregon challenge, your first resupply is going to be Asheville. That's another interstate hitch, so just be aware of that. But the good thing about Oregon is they have these resorts. So basically all of those resorts have some form of grocery store, and they all accept boxes. So, and they're all like literally like a mile off trail. So simple, either like get a fast hitch or just walk. Literally at that point you're down to walk. So yeah, and they all have restaurants and stuff. So yeah, it's basically get your package, get a meal, get back on trail, keep walking. And there is towns like Sisters and government camps. So, I mean, but basically you can go through all of Oregon just by going to these resorts, which are just like a mile off trail, and it's really simple. I mean, you can resupply at them, but they are on the more expensive side. So, and they're not really built for thru hikers. I mean, they do cater to thru hikers because obviously thru hikers are coming through and are using the resources, but again, expensive and not quite the right resupply that you're looking for. All right, so finally, Washington. So Washington is similar to Oregon, except for instead of resorts, they have ski mountains. So basically, every single pass, I mean, it's not like a Sierra pass, but like, you know, like the road pass and go down to the road. There's something there where there's a ski mountain. So you can send yourself boxes there. I mean, some of them, be aware that they don't accept USPS. They only accept UPS or FedEx or whatever their thing is. So definitely look into that, check out, call them, worst case scenario. But they do all have convenience stores, so you can get some stuff. Some of them do have restaurants on them. I know Snoqualmie Pass had a restaurant. Snoqualmie Pass had everything. They had a hotel. They had everything. But basically, yeah. And then the weird thing about Washington is you can basically go through all of Washington without going to an actual town, which is kind of insane because you just go to these ski places. Like at White Pass, it was Kracker Barrow, Snoqualmie Pass, which I already mentioned, and then like Stevens Pass, their ski mountaineer accepts resupply packages. That's not the one that accepts UPS, so just be aware of that. And then basically you're in Canada by then. But I will say, if you're going to Stehekin is, I didn't go to Stehekin, so I'm just saying, like, just from my experience, there's not a good resupply there, so either send a box or just go there for fun and go to Mazama. I had my box sent to Mazama instead of to Stehekin. Mazama is the final town, and most people go to Stehekin, pick up their box there, and then continue on down the trail and go straight to Canada. Then they come, I mean, if you have to come back still, then they go to Mazama, but most people just skip Mazama. But yeah. I mean, I had my box sent there, so, I mean, it seemed logistically at the time that it was going to be easier to get into Mazama, which it was super easy to get into Mazama, a simple hitch. To get into Stehekin, you have to take, like, a shuttle, and it's logistically complicated, but a lot of people do it because that is, like, a PCT thing, you know, to, like, visit Stehekin, you know, because it's right there. And it's like one of the most remote, cool places in America, I guess. I really don't know. But yeah, that's all I want to say. All right, so the other thing I want to talk to you about is your boxes. So the best way to send boxes, in my opinion, is the way that I did it. I mean, there's a bunch of different ways to do it, but I'm just going to share with you the way I did it. Was simply I went to the post office's website and I pre-bought all my boxes. And so they were prepaid for. All I had to do was write on where they were going and ship them, basically. So they were prepaid for. I mean, the boxes are free if you go to your post office and pick them up. But if you want the shipping prepaid, you have to pay that, order them separate. That's what I'm trying to say. So basically, I just packed my boxes and then put them on a shelf. And then when I needed them, I just told my mom, hey, can you send me my box? And I just told her the address, and she wrote it down and just dropped it off to the post office, and it was good to go. If you don't prepay for shipping, then you're going to have to either send whoever's shipping your boxes money or have them pay, I don't know, whatever works for you, I guess. I'm just saying it was a lot easier on my mom if I prepaid the shipping. Priority flat rate boxes, it does not matter what weight it is either, so that was nice. And yeah, priority boxes are probably the best way to go. I mean, I've not really seen anybody not use priority boxes, but I mean, you can ship any size box to the post office. If you are going FedEx or UPS, you can do that too. Just be aware that if you're going to send your box to a post office, it does need to be shipped UPS, and the post office will hold your boxes up to 30 days. Just write on them that you're a through hiker and when you think you're going to be there. So like, just write in the shipping label, general delivery, your name, whatever town it's going to, the zip code, in the address thing, and then somewhere on the box, like literally anywhere else on the box, just write hold for PCT, hiker, ETA, whatever. Just so they're aware of, hey, this person would probably show up at a certain time. And these post offices are very aware of what's happening. They're aware through hikers like to send mail around, so and the other thing that's good about flat rate boxes is if you do send it to a post office and it's not opened, you can just have it shipped to a different post office or a different address with no additional cost, which is the nice things about flat rate boxes. The other thing is, if you don't have somebody at home to send you these boxes, you can do it yourself on trail. For example, when I was in Edna, California, and I knew, hey, I'm gonna need to send myself a box to Crater Lake, otherwise I'm not gonna be able to do the Oregon Challenge. So I basically, and I knew the boxes I had at home weren't gonna suit me, so I went to the grocery store, bought the food I need, went to the post office, picked up a flat rate box, put my food in there, and I sent it right there on trail, and it was super simple, super easy, and that way I knew, hey, I had 30 days to get there, and it was out there like literally couple days later. And these boxes will be there within 3 days, 5 days tops. I do recommend though, if you can buy your food in a town, buy your food in a town, because it's a lot simpler logistically, and who knows what you're gonna want to eat in 3 to 4 months, you know? Alright, that's all I got for you about resupply strategy and resupply packages on the Pacific Crest Trail. If you have anything else that I didn't cover or any questions, leave them down below and I'll get to them as soon as possible. And that's all I got for you today, so I'll see you on trail.